So now let's proceed to Boolean algebra. Okay, let's define first. What is Boolean algebra? Boolean algebra is an algebra for the manipulation of objects that can take only two values, typically true and false, although it can be any pair of values. So, because computers are built as collections of switches that are either on or off, right? So, Boolean algebra is a natural way to represent digital information. So, in reality, okay, digital circuits are used as low and high voltages, but for our level of understanding, 0 and 1 will suffice. So, pwede lang siya. It is common to interpret the digital value 0 as false and the digital value 1 as true. So, let me write here. We can interpret the digital value of 0 as false and the digital value of 1 as true. Okay? So, we already know the definition of Boolean algebra. Let's proceed to Boolean expression. Boolean algebra can perform operations on certain variables. So, when we're talking about Boolean algebra, it's more into operations and calculations, right? So, a combination of variables and operators yields to Boolean expression. So, for example, ng mga variables, it can be any letter in the alphabet, but the common variables that are involved in Boolean expression are X, Y, Z talaga yung palagi. And ang operators naman are the mathematical arithmetics that involves in a certain Boolean expression. So, if a variable and operator are combined together, it is called a Boolean expression. So, a Boolean expression, or this can also sometimes called Boolean functions, typically has one or more input values, and of course, it yields a result. So, ano yung mga common na Boolean operators? The three common Boolean operators we have and. I know you're really familiar with these operators. We have or at saka not. Okay. So, to better understand these operators, we need a certain mechanism to allow us to examine their behaviors. So, a Boolean operator can be completely described using a certain table or where we can list all the inputs, all possible values for these inputs, at saka ang resulting values of the operation for all possible combinations of these inputs. So, yan ang tinatawag natin na truth table. So, ano ba yung truth table? So, I know you're really familiar with this one. So, a truth table shows the relationship in a tabular form, and then between the input values and the result of a specific Boolean operator or function on the input variable. So basically, what we can see in a truth table, we have a column of inputs and a column of mga possible combinations and a column of the truth value of a certain Boolean expression. Okay. Like what I said, the three common operators, we have and, or, and not. So, let's discuss each of these operators and their truth table. So, let's start with the truth table for and operator. So, the and operator, it is represented by dot or period or no symbol at all. So, for example, ang Boolean expression natin na x, y. So, this is equivalent to the expression x dot y. So this can be read as x and y. So yeah, it can be represented as the AND operator can be represented in two ways, by a dot between two variables or possible three variables or more, or di kaya no symbol at all. Okay. The behavior of this operator AND is characterized by the truth table shown here. So as you can see, we have two variables, x and y. So this is based in the example expression natin, ito, x and y. And as you can see, in each columns of each variables, x and y, we have mga input combinations, right? So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And we have here in the third column, the output of the expression x and y. And we have here the truth values of each combination of x and y, right? So based on the truth table here, just a review, I know you're really familiar with this one. So the result of expression x and y is 1 yan siya, only when both inputs are 1 and 0 otherwise. So as you can see here, the only row that has a result 1 is the last row. Kasi dito sa last row, the input of variable x and y are both 1. And the rest, 0 na siya. So that's the rule of the AND operator. And basically, the expression x and y can be referred to as the Boolean product. So we can call this column here as the Boolean product of expression x and y. Okay? So that's for the AND operator. Now let's proceed to the OR operator. So basically, the OR operator is represented by a plus sign. Therefore, the expression, let's say, x plus y. So this can be read as x or y. So this is a representation of the OR operator. So the behavior of this operator is characterized here in the truth table shown. So same lang din, meron tayong dalawang variable x and y from our expression here, x or y. And we have here the result of the expression x or y. So the rule of the truth table for OR operator is that the result of the expression x or y is 0 yan siya only when both input values are 0. So as you can see here, that's why the first row of our table has the output of 0, because the combination of both x and y are 0. So based on the rule, that is the output. And in addition to that, the expression x or y is often referred to as the Boolean sum. So the AND operator is referred as Boolean product, while the OR operator is referred as Boolean sum. So that's the second operator. Now let's proceed to the third and last operator. So the NOT operator is represented by either an overscore or a prime. So for example, the variable x, how do we represent that using the NOT operator? We can use the overscore. When we say overscore, may line sa taas ng variable. And when we say prime, meron siyang parang apostrophe sa side, isang apostrophe lang, ganyan. So this is over score, and this is the example of prime. Yan. So the behavior of the NOT operator is characterized by the table here shown. So the rule is very simple. It's just the complement value of each input. So basically, we now understand that Boolean algebra deals with binary variables and logical operators or operations. So combining these two concepts, we can actually examine Boolean expression composed of Boolean variables and multiple logic operators. Ibig sabihin, we can actually try to express Boolean expression. When we say Boolean expression, trying to express a combination of variables and multiple logic operators. So let's see. So let's try to examine Boolean expression with variables and operators. So I have an example here. We have a function with three variables and logical operators. So we have how many logical operators? We have and, we have not, and we have or. So we have three variables and three logical operators. Now, how do we know which operator to apply first? So basically, the rule of precedence for Boolean operators give the following rules. So, first, or ang may precedence aside from other operator is ang not talaga. So, not operator is the top priority. So, basically here, we are going to express first the not y. So, I'm going to write here 1. And then followed by and. So, saan dito yung and? Itong dalawa. Not y and z. So, this is number 2. We're going to express that secondly. And then, or is the last precedence, no? So, next part of this expression that we're going to express is x plus the result of not y and z. So, basically, the whole expression na talaga. So, that's the use of the rule of precedence in expressing Boolean expression.